Good morning, vocal yogis. Sarah Whitten of Sarah Whitten Voice and Yoga here with you to talk about Body Talk Tuesday. I like alliterative names of things, and I wanted to share a story with you today that I thought I'd share a series of stories over the coming weeks that live behind my why of why I do the work that I do and the way that I work with people. So this one comes from probably close to 20 years ago. I did a pay to sing program in Italy while I was in grad school. So I was in my early 20s and I flew over there super excited. I had never been to Italy before. I had been cast as a small role in the opera production that we were doing for the summer, and I was fluent in Italian. I had studied Italian for several years and just really ready to dive in and take advantage of all that Italy had to offer and everything that this program had to offer. And I got there to find that they had accidentally double cast the role that I had been given in the opera production, which was La Rondine. And in fact, the person that they were going to give the role to was the young woman who was studying with one of the teachers who was in the program. And I was a bit of an outsider because the majority of the people came from the teachers that were running the program. And I was one of like maybe only 4 who weren't. So not only did I lose the role, but because I had that role, I hadn't been cast in any of the scenes. So there was very little for me to do. And I really had a moment of thinking, I'm not going to do this program because I'm not going to get anything out of it. I'm just going to go travel around Italy and, I don't know, figure life out. But I decided to stay, and they added a scene for me to be in and beefed up my concert performance schedule so that I had a little bit more singing to be doing, and scheduled some extra coachings for me. So you had lessons with the American teachers who were there, coachings with American coaches, as well as some Italian coaches. And I showed up to a coaching with one of the Italian coaches, and I think I was coaching O Quante Volte with him. And we, there was no communication barrier. I could understand everything that he was saying. We communicated in Italian. So that's just sort of to give you a little bit of backstory that this was not a communication issue. So I sang the piece for him, and I'm going to stand up in a second so that you can see. I finished singing, we kind of talked a little bit, and then he did this. So I'm standing, and it's fairly close quarters. We're in an old building in Italy, small rooms. You're not that far away from each other. So he reached over from the piano bench, and he took his hand, I'm standing on my tiptoes, and he put it on my pubic bone and pressed on it and said, "You sing from here." And I said, "In America, we don't touch people there." And it was truly just an awful moment for the awkwardness, awful for the fact that he crossed a boundary that was unacceptable, but also awful because he wasn't able to communicate to me what he actually saw happening in my body that was preventing me from doing what he wanted me to do vocally. And I'm sure that many of you have had similar experiences. Maybe they've ranged into that inappropriate touch place. Maybe it's just been language. Maybe it's just been confusion. But I really, those moments and others that have occurred over my career as a singer have led me to a place where I realized how vital it is that as voice teachers, we really can see the bodies of the singers who are coming in front of us. And as singers, we are trained from the get-go to feel our bodies. I found in my own study, there was such an emphasis on vocal technique and the sound that was being produced that there was little attention given to how it felt in my body when I was singing, how it felt when it was right and how it felt when it was wrong, both equally, or not wrong, but not as optimal. But there's so many moments of teachers pointing things out to me where they were missing the mark. So he was wrong to touch me there. That's a given. But he was wrong in the sense that he wasn't able to look at me and see what's moving that should be moving, what's moving that shouldn't be moving, and what's not moving that should be. Those are the things that you need to begin to identify in the bodies of those singers that you are working with. And that is really what I have dedicated my career to, because I just learned so early on that there's going to come a time where vocal technique, you've reached sort of the maximum of what it can do for you. And you have to be able to go beyond that. And to go beyond that, you really need to be able to see. Now, I do the same thing when I'm working with someone's body in a yoga capacity, because it really, I need to be able to see what's moving that should be moving, what's moving that shouldn't be moving, and what's not moving that should be moving to remedy issues in the body. That's how people get better faster. So that is a big part of my why, and it comes from those experiences. So I would love to know, what are your experiences? Maybe you have a tale of this sort of, I hope I know they're out there, the inappropriate touch. You know, not only was the touch inappropriate, but he created it, like I shut down from anything else that he might have had to say to me, because I was so taken aback by the way that he had just touched my body without any permission from me, or communicated in a way that was really going to be productive. So I know that you all have probably had those experiences too, and I would love for you to share them if you would like in the comments. Yeah, and I'll be back in here next week with another Body Talk Tuesday. I hope you all are having a great day.